नमस्ते बिटिया, हमेशा खुश रहो बिटिया। दिस इज प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर अनिल कुमार वंगानी, HOD डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ रेपर्टरी, ज्योति विद्यापीठ, वुमेन्स यूनिवर्सिटी, जयपुर। बिटिया, as you know, we are taking digital sessions on YouTube channel as per university's instruction in the period of this lockdown, and I've already taken a few classes. At the moment we are taking a series of lectures on modern repertories. We have already discussed synthetic repertory. We have discussed synthesis repertory also in two parts. Now today we are again going to discuss synthesis repertory. Especially we are going to discuss the history and evolution, how this synthesis repertory was formed. So please attentively attend this class to get the best of it. I have already told you the flow chart, how where this synthesis repertory stands in the history of modern repertories. So first of all, there was synthetic repertory, which was first of all published in year 1973. Then in the year 1987, synthesis repertory 5th edition in the print form was published. And in the year 1996, complete repertory by Roger von Zenwoot was published. So these are the main modern repertories which are used nowadays. And the full name of synthesis repertory is Repertorium Homoeopathicum Syntheticum. And the author, Dr. Frederick Schroens of Belgium. The origin of the word synthesis is from Greek word syntethenai, means to put together. Means to put together. The things which are in fragments, they have to be put together to give them a form so that they can be utilized. Now, what is the meaning of synthesis? Synthesis is nothing but an ongoing process of collection and compilation of symptoms converted into rubrics with corresponding medicines and their gradations from various sources. See, one thing is the synthesis, that is noun, and the other thing, the synthesis, is adjective. The noun synthesis means something artificial. It means compiling from various available things, not forming them yourself, but combining them which are already existing. In our case, process of repertorization also, we go for synthesis. After repertorization, when we join various fragments of repertorial totality with potential differential field and form a conceptual image to be matched with the drug pictures, the pictures in our materia medica, so as to find out a simillimum. तो ऐसा हम रिपोर्टराइजेशन के बाद भी कर रहे हैं सिंथेसिस, ताकि हम सिमिलिमम तक पहुंच पाएं। इसके लिए हमें सिर्फ यही करना है कि रिपर्टल टोटलिटी, वो चीजें जो रिपर्टरी में हमें मिली और हमने रिपोर्टराइज कर लिया, और वो चीजें, वो सिम्टम्स, वो रूब्रिक जो हमें नहीं मिले, उनको हमने पोटेंशियल डिफरेंशियल फील्ड कहा, उनको हम जोड़ते हैं तो एक पिक्चर बनती है। इस पिक्चर को हम मटेरिया मेडिका की ड्रग पिक्चर से मैच करते हैं और सिमिलम हमें मिलता है। So until now, more than 200 repertories have been published, and the Kent repertory is the most appropriate one, most complete, most reliable of all. Its theories are very sound, and it is time proved by time also. Kent has used all the old works on the homeopathic materia medica, but he did not incorporate numerous symptoms and drugs which were insufficiently confirmed. So, in synthesis, various data available from various repertories, from various materia medica, from various literature on homeopathy, various journals, various personal experiences which were proven anyhow were added upon data of Kent's repertory to form a very new repertory, but with the old available sources. Therefore, and the thing that this process is going on, not stopped. Each day, some new remedy, some new rubric is added in the synthesis repertory by the synthesis team. So it's a going on process. Therefore, it is known as synthesis. History. Repertories are developed to help homeopathic doctors in comparative study of materia medica and to find out the indicated medicine from a group of similar medicines in a given case. Since Hahnemann, who first of all felt the need of repertory, and till date we have many repertories available to our profession, and in this regard we must not forget Clemens von Boningassen, who first created usable repertory in 1832, that is the repertory of medicines which are antipsoric. Even Dr. Hahnemann admired that, we have already discussed. Different authors expanded on previous versions of this repertory, like T.F. Allen in 1880 symptom register, Jar repertory 1835 symptom repertory, Lippe 1854 repertory comparative materia medica. Some created complete new structures, as did Gentry, like in 1890 the repertory of concordance and the Nair's repertory, that is the repertory of Herring's guiding symptom, which was published in the year 1896. So all of these repertory, they originate from antipsoric repertory. The glory of development of repertory came to its peak by the publication of Kent's repertory fascicle by fascicle from 1897 to 1899. Kent repertory was not published in a single lot. It was published in form of various booklets known as fascicles. So it was published fascicle by fascicle. For a few decades, no other repertory succeeded in taking up the challenge of progress after the progress of successive editions of Kent's repertory. But later on, after the sixth edition of Kent's repertory in 1957, several Indian editions have been printed, which contain unacceptable amount of mistakes. For example, Kent's Final General Repertory by Pierre Schmidt. In this regard, we have comment of Dr. George Vithalkas in forward of the synthesis version 5, where he says Kent's repertory, even if it is the best so far, contains a lot of errors. Its structure and its logic are not always maintained, etc. I felt there was no good reason to reprint all the same error once more, even with lot of additions, because this was done already too often by so-called new repertories. It was the new era of development and publication of new repertories by different authors, mainly based upon Kent's philosophy. तो देखिए, Kant's repertory was so acceptable that many of works were published based on this Kant repertory, but they were not up to date. There were a lot of mistakes, but everyone wanted to base its work on Kant's repertory and Kant's philosophy because it was very much usable in clinical practice, and the Kant's way of repertorizing was not so time taking and very much reliable. So these new repertories are still coming with modifications, additions like synthetic in 1973, synthesis 87, Murphy 1993, complete in 1996, etc. These are the fruits of this new era. In 1973, Barthel and Clunker started the publication of first version of their synthetic repertory. And this is having in 3 volumes. The first volume contains the mind, the second contains the generals, and the third the sleep, dream, and the male and female sexuality. They did not expand their work to more authors or chapters. Their repertory was considered a new reference by many. It was just published as an adjuvant, as we have already discussed, to Kant's repertory. So it was this background that we needed a new, more complete, informative repertory to overcome the pitfalls of previous repertories. तो पिछली repertories की कमियों को पूरा करने के लिए हमें एक अच्छी, broad और reliable, authenticated repertory की जरूरत थी. Dr. Frederick Schroens ultimately did this job in collaboration with the leading homeopaths throughout the world, forming a synthesis team. It's a repertory linked to Radar, a software-based repertory. It is based on 6th American edition of Kant's repertory. Since 1987, synthesis has been used as database for Radar. How the evolution of synthesis took place. The synthesis repertory is a product of continuous teamwork with superb technology. It is the printed version of Radar computer program. This repertory has set a new standard by adding many information and continuous verification by its users. It is the latest among all repertories, synthesis repertory based on 6th American edition of Kant's repertory. Synthesis repertory is linked to Radar. It was developed as a research project at the University of Namur, Belgium, under the supervision of Professor JV'n, who was the professor of mathematics in the Department of Computer Science. And he became interested in homeopathy with the miraculous cure of his son by homeopathic medicine. Dr. Frederick Schroens became coordinator for this project. He had outlined a request for collaboration in the year 1986. Dr. Frederick Schroens and his team sent charter to all leading homeopaths who were concerned with the evolution of homeopathy to the software version. तो डॉक्टर फ्रेडरिक श्वेंस इस वर्क में जुड़े, स्टार्ट किया था प्रोफेसर जीन फिशरफेट, जो कि मैथमेटिक्स के प्रोफेसर थे डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ कंप्यूटर साइंस में, और वो इंटरेस्टेड हो गए थे होम्योपैथी में क्योंकि उनका बेटा खुद मिरेकुलसली ठीक हुआ होम्योपैथिक दवाओं से. उन्होंने डॉक्टर फ्रेडरिक श्वेंस को साथ लिया. डॉक्टर फ्रेडरिक श्वेंस ने कई लीडिंग होम्योपैथ्स को जोड़ा और एक सिंथेसिस टीम बनाई और इस वर्क को आगे बढ़ाया. Since 1987, this synthesis is used as a database for this software Radar, but it is based on 6th American edition of Kant's repertory. Now, what are different versions of synthesis and their publication? This is how the evolution took place. The version 1 in 1987, the version 2 in 1988, version 3 in 1990, version 4 in 1992, and version 5 in 1993, which was also published in the print form. It was the version 5 of the software synthesis, which was first of all printed and printed in English. Synthesis 6 was published in 1995. Synthesis 7.1 in 1997. Synthesis 8. Synthesis 8 in 2002. Synthesis 9 in 2003. Synthesis 9.1 in 2004. So once again, for memorizing, the version 1 came in 1987, the version 2 in 1988, the version 3 in 1990, the version 4 in 1992, the version 5 in the 1993, the version 6 and the edition 6 in 1995, then the synthesis 7.1 in the year 1997, 8 in the year 2002, synthesis 9 in the year 2003, and 9.1 in the year 2004. Then the 10th version came into play. It was the Treasure edition. It was released as software in English in the year 2007. This is called Treasure edition because it includes the Kent's Lost Treasure, which are having 11,398 editions, and corrections that were noted by Kent himself by his annotations in the second annotated copy of Kent Repertory. It was an annotated copy of the second edition of Kent's Repertory, which Kent wanted to publish, but unfortunately he was no more. So posthumously it was to be published. But it was stolen by someone and the treasure was lost. This treasure was later on recovered anyhow, and 11,000 and some additions. So these 11,398 additions were made in the Kent's repertory into the synthesis. So this is all in this work or this lecture for now. And the assignment, I would like to give you an assignment for today, and this will be a subjective question which will carry 10 marks, maximum 10 marks, and the time to solve the question is 30 minutes. You have to tell the question. The question is, what are various versions of synthesis available, and when were they made available to the public? What are various versions of synthesis, various editions of synthesis, and when were they made available to the public or to the profession? So this is the question, or this is the assignment for the day. So thank you all for listening attentively, and I hope you will remain in good health and take care of your health and your family's health. So see you in the next lecture. Until then, goodbye.